He also released a statement saying that I trust the scars on my face and head and healed, but the trauma from what the agency officers did will stay with me forever. He is a third-year student at UVA, and he's part of the Black Lives Matter movement.
The incident in Ferguson, just as this incident at UVA, was not an isolated incident. It has become a pattern of police brutality being expressed against Black lives. And again, like, this is a part of a larger Black Lives Matter movement, the ability to affirm that. And I'm not sure if you all heard about another incident that took place, I believe, in Arizona, and there was an individual who went on a shooting spree, in which I believe 3 individuals were killed, and yet, despite the intentions behind whatever he did and the lives that were lost, the only force that he was met with was a taser. And this individual was in fact white, and so I think that by calling these things to attention is not in order to be divisive, it's just to be honest, right? And that a lot of these things offend people, but they should, and they shouldn't just offend Black people, they shouldn't just offend men, they should offend everyone. And I'm offended, and hopefully you all came here together because you want us to, as Generation 4 wants to, is to move past these type of events and us to get at the root of the problem, which is this intolerance and this inability for us to see Black people, right, as victims of a situation. And so the discussion about whether or not he had a fake ID, there was excessive force used.
Well, I have a daughter who's half Black. She's 3 years old, and I just get scared and very emotional because I start thinking, do I need to be scared for her future? Like, do I need to teach her to defend herself? You know, and it's just a very touchy subject for me because a lot of people don't understand me, and I just don't know what it's on my hands to do to stop this, you know. And I wish there was a way. I don't know if a lot of you are parents, but as a parent, it's scary just to know that because of the color of your child's skin, she can go through something like this, or she can be judged.
I empathize for you because I don't know about any other Black man in this room, but I have those regular talks with my mom and dad about, oh, pull your pants up, dress this way, go to school, be educated. And then you see something like this, and it's like, what do I do now? What do I have to do now in order for me to feel safe in America? A Black man in America. So,
good evening. My name is Armani Gladden. I'm a transfer student, junior, international studies major, and I'm from Brooklyn. And hearing about this event, I wasn't surprised, and it's almost and you almost become numb to these events because as a Black man in America, and not to exclude Black women from this either, but just knowing that this happens so frequently, and just because it's not reported all the time, or just because it's not a major event, you know, it can be swept under the rug. And you know, it is very troubling knowing that my mother, like my friend Mel over here, my mother tells me, you know, don't wear your hood, you know, walking through the neighborhood at night. It doesn't matter where you are because you are liable. It's like Black lives are disposable, and they're not as valued, you know, with the same level of like humanity. So that being said, it's just like you hear this event and I sit there and I was like, oh, okay, again, you know, you kind of become so accustomed to seeing those things, and it's disheartening just to know that, like, no matter what we do, he can be in college getting his education, maybe, you know, in suits all day, and then this one night he goes out with his friends and this is what happens, you know. And it's not limited to our age group either, because there are college professors who worked so hard to achieve their academia and their accolades, and they still get, you know, the same kind of treatment. So, older or younger, you know, it's the same kind of sentiment.
Your story as well, and just being a person of mixed race and having a mother, a single mother who is not Black, and having a younger brother, hearing those conversations in my home, because my mother is so afraid. My brother's 14. He's a normal boy. She's so afraid that if he's on the playground roughhousing the wrong way, is he going to have to get 15 stitches in his face from a police officer or from some crazy neighborhood watch guy? And what's even more concerning to me as well is that hearing my mother tell him, don't open your mouth, don't say anything. If they're questioning, you don't say anything. And her rule to him is always, you don't make your presence known. And to me, that's even more upsetting, just being in the Black community, that out of fear, we're now having to teach our men that you take the back seat and that you don't let people know you're there, because if you make your presence known, you're going to be targeted. And it's heartbreaking, because I see my brother's potential and the strength in him, and how when he sees an injustice in the classroom, you know, he's one of the first people who wants to speak up about it. And now, because of the things that have been going on, because of the things that have been going on, that he now has reverted to, I'm going to keep my mouth shut at all times. And I don't want to see that trend continuing in the Black community, that we are afraid to make our presence known, because if we do, we will be targeted.
Say, like, what can we do, right? Yes, the paper, like the changing laws, like that is something that can happen down the line, but I think we have to continue to have these type of conversations.